Welcome to the live stream on the bill back feature in Sage Intacct Construction. So what is a bill back and what is the bill back feature in Sage Intacct? So it is a way to create an accounts receivable transaction that then creates the corresponding accounts payable transaction. So if you have a couple entities and you have rental income and rental expense between the two entities, for example, you can create the AR invoice and the related accounts payable bill all in one step, and they can show the due to, due from transaction as well. So first I'm going to show you the setup of the bill back in Intacct, and then I'm going to show you how it works. So let's navigate up here to the accounts receivable menu. And we're going to be over here on the setup tab, and we're going to go more, and we're going to go to the bill back templates. But first, before we do that, I'm going to show you in configuration here where you turn the bill back template on. If we scroll down here into the enable functionality, we're going to enable the inter-entity bill back option. And you can do different things here with drafting versus posting directly. I have posting directly on in this instance. Okay. So this is assumed that we did turn on some inter-entity in some multi-entity environment. So that is also on in the system as well. So we're going to come here to bill back templates. And here's an example bill back template that is set up already. So I'm going to edit this. And first thing you want to do, you'll give it a name and you'll tell it which invoice or revenue account and which bill or expense account that bill back template is going to use. Okay, so when you make the actual transaction, it's going to default these in, which I'll show here in a second. You'll pick the bill back template and this is what defaults in. You can also use departments, as well, but I'm just doing a simple rental income and a rental expense here. You can see the office expense - rent. Okay. Get out of here and we'll do an actual bill back transaction. Okay, so I'm going to navigate to the invoices and accounts receivable. And I've already got one generated here. Okay, so I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to regenerate it. I'm going to duplicate what I did already. But you can see here, there's an invoice here for $2,395 on 7/31. Okay, I'm going to duplicate the tab up here so you can see the accounts payable bill. Here that matches that transaction. Okay, so I'm going to explain these here in a second. Let me go back over here to AR. So AR, we're going to come in here and we're going to view this one here. So you can see my revenue account down here at the bottom for $2,395. The revenue is going to my development location. So I've got multi-entity environment set up where this development entity is getting the rental income. Okay. Now in this transaction, I've picked the bill back template here so that when I create and save this invoice, that bill over here on the AP bills screen creates the payable. Okay, so I'm going to duplicate this to show the screen and the whole process. Okay, so I'm going to hit duplicate up here. Nice feature in Intacct as well. Okay, so who I'm going to collect from? I'm collecting from the Timberline General Construction customer. So I'm charging rent to this entity, but the income is going to go to the development entity. Okay, so I have a customer, an inter-entity customer set up to do the transaction here for the AR to go to the Timberline General Construction. Okay, so when you're filling this out from scratch, you'd pick your inter-entity customer. You're going to pick your bill back template here. So right here, if I pick rental income expense, this is what happens when you do it from scratch. Okay, so let's just do a slightly different amount. Okay, and then I want to pick my development entity. Also, you want to make sure your generate matching bill for invoice is checkmarked here. Okay, so I'm going to post this. Let's date it with a different date though. Keep things kind of easy to follow. And now we can see that that's generated. And I think I just changed the due date, and that's okay. Yep, I just changed the due date. So this one is dated 7/31 with the due date of 8/31. Okay, so that's fine. Let's go over here to the bills and see what happened. Okay, so on the bill tab, I'm going to refresh the screen. And now you can see the related bill that was created. So let's look at the bill here. So you can see that my Timberline General Construction entity got charged rental expense, and it owes the Timberline Development vendor. Okay, so it's going to make this entity, General Construction entity, is going to make a payment to the Timberline Development inter-entity vendor. Okay, so I didn't do anything for this to get created. It did it as soon as I posted that invoice in the AR side. So if you look at posting details here, we have the inter-entity payable and rent expense. If I go over here and look at the invoice, I'm going to have inter-entity receivable and where I put rental income, revenue other. Okay. Now, in order to set up the inter-entities, just a quick, if that's not known, you come here to company, set up inter-entity account mapping. And this is a basic setup. You can have separate receivable and payable accounts for each combination. Okay, so this is a basic mapping. You also have an advanced mapping that is available to be turned on. Okay, also one more thing in your company setup entities, you do need to set up an inter-entity customer and vendor on the different entities you're going to be doing transactions between. Okay, so on my development entity, I've got these here and I had to set these vendors up in vendor setup and customer setup. Okay, and then you come onto your additional information tab and add these here. It's a drop down to add these two in this area right here. Okay. So that is the gist of Billback and how you do it, and setting up the inter-entity customers and your setup in your inter-entity mapping in your entity setup here. That is how you get Billbacks to be able to be done in Intacct. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next live stream.